that we have to look at. There's already a court order that was stopping this particular debate.
Yep.
All right? And then now we do know that if indeed the court okays this debate again, if the court goes back and looks at it and says, okay, the MCS decided to go on with the debate, they've already impeached you, so now you have to proceed to the Senate. Does she have favor at the Senate? Because we've already seen what happens at the Senate. If you indeed belong to the party that is the popular party, you will survive that impeachment motion. But then she goes in as an independent, Amoy.
Well, she's an independent who is pro-government. So I'll say she's a little bit pro-UDA. Yeah, because the moment she was sworn in as governor of Meru County, she went to the steps of the current residents and actually did have a chat with the president, who was then president-elect. They decided to work together. At the time when we were talking in this country and saying, why are so many people, running away from the Azibio team or going all the way to, to want to align themselves with the government, and you're looking at some of the independent candidates who have actually been elected. So some of the leaders that are actually been elected, what exactly was happening to them? They were actually going to the other side, trying to align themselves with the government. That is something that we did see, Simba. And to some extent, I'll say she has favor with the government. She is maybe in good books with the current administration that has to do with President William Ruto and Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua. Just the other day, Rigathi Gachagua, that is the Deputy President, was about to hold a meeting with this MCS and Kawira Mwangaza herself in Meru to just look at what was happening and try to get into an agreement without having to go all the way to impeach her. So trying to, can we settle this in a different way without necessarily having an impeachment motion tabled in the House to actually have her out. So those are some of the things that I look at and study the mood and say maybe to some extent she could be having favor with the government. Just that the government did not sit down with these members of county assembly, and that's why they refused to have a sit down with the deputy president, because they knew if at all they were to sit down with the MCAs, if at all they were to sit down and accommodate the deputy president, to some extent they would have been forced to not let this go. And that's why they said, okay, we are not having this meeting, let's just wait.
Interesting, isn't it? Let me just take you through just two responses to what Kenyans are talking about on this particular one. This is Peter Simeo. In my view, it is the governor's husband who's bringing this dispute in her career. Had this guy chosen private, silent, live, and let the wife perform her duties, no one would have bothered to fight her. Clingy and needy men kill their spouses' careers.
We are going to play the gender card here. Listen.
Boy,
I think
you want to argue against that?
This is the point where I need to play the gender card. If it was the first lady of a particular county, nobody will be talking about this.
We won't be.
We will not be talking about this. We will not be accusing the wife or the first lady for leading to the impeachment of the governor. Why are we accusing the guy?
Are you saying
why would he choose a private life? This is the thing. We saw Machako's governor having his first lady there. We've seen so many governors having their first ladies with them. Even the president and the deputy president, we do see their wives on the political arena. Just traversing the country, doing this and that, and showing the country that we are here, despite maybe the office of the second lady not in existence, but we also, to some extent, have the office of the first daughter back. That's a topic for another day. This is the thing, Simba. We will not play.
We will not play the gender card.
If at all we go and start blaming the husband, then I think this is where we play the gender card. If it were a woman, we will not be talking about how he did mess this up.
Isn't that? Amai, your opinion. Last one before we move on to the next trend this morning. This is according to, hey, wow, this is a very good toxic photo love. Okay. Okay. All right. This is the saying, sijui kitu mama amekosea, lakini sasa I think it's only best that we county elective leadership be all disbanded. Wameru wamue tena because ni kama hata MCAs wana kili pia. So when you look at it like that, do you think that because the electorate
go back to
voted,
fresh elections.
The electorate voted, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Do you think now it's time to go, for them to go back up? But the law doesn't say that.
Nah.
Deputy governor would essentially become the governor.
Listen, I think I'm looking for something, and this is in relation to a book that Kawira Mwangaza wrote.
Oh yeah, by the way.
Did you see that?
I saw that. Describing
something interesting. It was interesting. I liked it.
Quite interesting.
Describing exactly. I can't seem to find it, Siva.
Yeah.
I think we'll look for it some other time. It's not here.
Yeah,
Sorry.
but describing her as a pretender. If I was, I'm trying to paraphrase.
Yeah.
That she's a pretender who trying to play the poverty card for sympathy and stuff like that. You gotta read that book, by the way.
This is page 109 of this book. Now, I really don't know. Kawira is a member of parliament. This is before she was actually elected. Kawira is a member of parliament as the woman representative of Meru. All I know is that she has declared her interest to be governor of Meru. As Machiavelli said, human beings are not what they seem or pretend to be. Despite their public professions of Christian goodness, some politicians are just wicked. They are thugs and scoundrels who are just good talkers. Kawira is a self-proclaimed bishop, but in reality, she's a hypocrite, deeply immersed in lies and deception of the people, especially the poor and illiterate. She's a cunning businesswoman. Habaite TV is a selfie. She has monopolized its screens as the bishop, the director and producer of her own ego. It is full of her endless repeated Okolea crusades, news interviews and reports whose main theme is only one: that old man Kawira Mwangaza must go. Now the old crocodile is dead. Its body is merely floating on water. That's the quote. As to where Meru should go, she has no clue. Kawira has no concrete political agenda. She has no vision for Meru. Pretending to be a village woman, she sincerely whips up emotions of semi-illiterate peasants. Yeah. That is a book, a conversation by Kawira Mwangaza. That's the title of the book.
I'll tell you that, man. Yeah,
and I did get, sometimes I do during the campaigns. I used to watch that TV because as the people that work in the media, we normally try to look at what is where, and I did watch Baite TV, and to some extent, the title and the theme of that TV is just the governor.
Interesting, really. The ice is cracking, isn't it? Mm-hmm. And quite loud. I mean, we can hear it from all the way here in Nairobi, because now she has come all the way to Nairobi again to just go back to the Senate and see whether her career, short career that is, after 112 days can be saved.
Though it will be, listen, are we really surprised that this is happening? Because to some extent we saw this coming, the way we had done with this election, and how she started conducting herself, and to some extent it's like we actually were looking at a possibility of this actually happening. So what I think,
so we watch,
she would have stepped down a little bit, just have a conversation, a proper conversation, without having to feel like you're the super human being in that particular county. And this because you're speaking to people who have the power to actually get you out of office. If they say no to you, they will say no to you. So how do you have a conversation with them that you don't get to this particular point? And I think that's where she missed it. Because you might have been elected, but getting you out of office does not need to, start reducing the number of people that elected for you, that put you there.
We follow this story right here on Look Up TV. For now, we take a short break. Once we come back, then